I'm doing this on a whim because I just need to do the thing and stop letting my mind preventing me from doing things. But in today's live stream, I'm going to discuss the importance of mind over matter and how to transform your mental health in order to achieve sustainable weight loss. So I've been doing a lot of reflection on my journey here. And things that keep happening is when my mental health is bad, things go bad, and then my weight gets out of control. And this is all in relation to talking about the importance of metabolic health when it comes to weight loss. Metabolic health plays a major role when it comes to weight loss, not just on like the fat loss era, but in terms of the mental health. And Dr. Chris Palmer has talked about this a lot in his research and how mitochondrial health plays a significant role in mental health, in helping to reduce anxiety and depression. And Dr. Chris Palmer's work has been pretty amazing. He's dealt with patients that have had severe mental health issues to the point where things like schizophrenia and all of that, and he's used the ketogenic diet to help manage their symptoms. And there's a reason why I choose, hey, welcome to the live stream. There's a reason why I choose these diets, why I choose OMAD, why I choose keto, why I choose fasting to help me on my weight loss journey. Because my weight loss journey, hello, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Cheers. My weight loss journey is a very complex situation because there are complex issues at work. And I hate it when someone, like I was on Instagram the other day and there was this influencer, male influencer, pretty vocal, liked a lot of what he had to say. But he ended up saying something like, I'm not going to unfollow someone because they say one thing I don't agree with. But he ended up completely disregarding this woman who was struggling with PCOS. And he basically said, PCOS won't stop you from losing weight. It's all about calories in and calories out, without even thinking about the whole picture. How could you even say that when they're not understanding the whole picture? He does not understand the whole picture. Sorry, I'm fasting. I'm gonna have a frog in my throat. To say that completely neglects the struggles that person is having due to their insulin resistance. It's going to take more than calories in and calories out to help a person like that lose weight. You got to take into account the macros. You got to take into account that they need to be in a situation where their blood sugar is lowered, where they're not spiking their blood sugar to a point where it's completely stressing out their mitochondrial health, which is what happens when it comes to the metabolic approach to weight loss. So, what I like about the metabolic approach to weight loss, using fasting as a tool, using keto as a tool, is that it targets the multifaceted areas when it comes to people struggling with weight loss. So, me personally, I have a paper here because I have a list of things, but I recently got diagnosed. I ended up speaking because I've been going through a really difficult time, and I ended up speaking to a psychiatrist, and I got diagnosed with a lot. And my doctor ordered this months ago because she knew that she saw the state I was in. I was telling her when I was driving to work, my eyes would literally like shut down. I would pass out. My sleep has been absolutely horrible to this very day. Waking up multiple times in the night due to anxiety. And I was telling her a lot. So she wanted some help from, because she's my general GP, and she wanted an advice from someone who studies this, a psychiatrist. So I was diagnosed with multiple things, which makes sense. And it's going to be incorporated in my weight loss journey. I am seeing my psychologist today to discuss my new diagnoses. Some of these are not new, but a lot of them are. So I was diagnosed with 7 things. Major depression disorder, we know that. Every day right now, it's hard for me to get out of bed. Generalized anxiety disorder, we know that. That's something I knew I had. He also diagnosed me with PTSD, specifically PTSD. So that was kind of a relief because I knew how trauma influenced my mind, how I would get like, I would like, if one negative thing happens in relation to like, it could be a little thing, my brain will obsess over it. Or I would sleep and I would just have like dreams of things that happened in the past, or I would get paranoid of things happening in the past. Like my brain would obsess over these things. Social anxiety, that's nothing new. I remember as a kid being in social situations with new people, I didn't talk. Like I just didn't talk. I shut down. Panic disorder, that's a new one. So the new ones are PTSD, panic disorder, social anxiety. Borderline traits, I'm aware of that. And that is in relation to my struggles with trusting people, meaning that I feel struggle of not so much, I don't know if it's I struggle with the abandonment side of it, but I really don't care. It's more of the rejection side of it. And then me struggling with, I don't even know if I can say this, SH, can you say that? Basically doing things to myself that, I guess I can, self-harm. That's where the traits come from. And then the newest one, which would make sense, no one has ever diagnosed me with this, is ADHD. I struggle a lot. Oh my God. Bo, sorry. Don't eat Alex's stuffy. You can't do that. Sorry, my dog is in. You can't do that. I want to show you guys her face. I want to show you guys how she looks right now. She's like, I can flip the camera. You can't do that. Look at her in his bed full of. You can't do that. He's going to be so mad at you. Bo. No. This dog, I love her. She's been with me every step of the way. You know you're doing a bad thing. She's been cooped up inside here because the temperatures have been absolutely wild. But anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. Get my camera back on track here. All right. And I think I just saw you in the chat, Fire. Hi, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Hey, Sarge, thanks. Popping in a minute to say hi. Thanks, I appreciate you. Appreciate all you do. Thank you for your support. Yes, we are talking mental health here. So I was just listing all the things I was like pretty much diagnosed with. And the ADHD makes sense because when I have a task that I feel that's monumental, my brain just attacks me. For example, I have to right now collect a bunch of receipts and give it to my lawyer for the car accident. And I have been just stuff I paid out of pockets for treatment, pillows I needed for my neck. And my brain is like I don't even know where to start when it's like a simple thing to do. So he recommended that I go on 3 medications, and I was highly considering it until a part of my brain woke up and I was like, why are you going to go on medications when you know the root of all of this has a lot to do with your metabolic health? My nutrition for the last, not so much in January, I've been cleaned in January and February, but well, February, half of January, but leading into December with me binging and gaining these 40 pounds, I've been eating the worst foods. And it's obviously impacted my mental health. It's impacted my mitochondrial health. So for those of you who don't know, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It basically provides energy to the cell. And researchers and doctors and scientists have been realizing that mitochondrial health is related to a lot of diseases, from cancer to inflammation to mental health to obesity. I'm going to focus on the 2, mental health and obesity and struggling with your weight. So my mitochondrial health has been chaos because of the foods I've been eating, because of the processed foods we have in this world right now, especially it's spreading to everywhere. And of course, what happens, what stresses out our mitochondria is basically the constant glucose spikes that we get from processed foods. Bo, I'm looking at you, don't do that. And those spikes stresses out our mitochondria to a point where it can't function. And it causes like a backlog of, basically, it causes like a traffic jam of glucose trying to be processed into the cell. And that causes consequences weight wise, and it's related to mental health as well. So I sat there and I thought, like, why am I going to go do this? Now, again, I'm not against medication. Right now, I am considering taking medication for my ADHD. I'm going to consider taking medication for that. And it's for multiple reasons, because it can help with binge eating and it can also help me focus. And it's not something that it's something that I can kind of use in and out. I don't have to be specifically on it. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. My doctor's going to get a report. We're looking at Adderall and Vyvanse. I'm not sure yet, but they have to do a check on my heart to see if my heart's okay. My heart is fine. My heart issues comes with panic attacks. I saw a cardiologist way last year and he says my heart is very healthy. So I thank God for that. My blood pressure is very good. Like, I'm not having any cardiovascular symptoms. So with that being said, just looking at that on that aspect, why am I going to jump to all of these medications when I know that diet is key? Now, here is something I want to talk about. So a reason why I shared with you all of those diagnoses is what I'm going through is a really, really difficult battle. And I know I'm not alone. I know other people have complex mental health issues. He literally said, you have complex mental health issues. I got multiple things going on. The three major ones: depression, PTSD, that is a tough one. The panic disorder, that is a tough one. Then you get the ADHD that makes it all difficult. So that's why he recommended 3 medications for me. And I know I'm not the only one, because I sit here and I'm like, why is my life the way it is right now? Like, what am I doing? Why am I struggling so hard? Because I feel like I'm a hamster on a spinning wheel. I'm constantly trying. I find success. You guys have seen my weight loss journey. I've found success. And then mental health gets in the way due to how I respond to life. But to be fair, a lot of difficult things did happen to me. But I want to be at a point where I can handle difficult things happening to me and me not going so far down the rabbit hole that I fall. So the key in all of this is to really work on those issues. And I have been. I will be seeing my therapist in about 3 hours or so. And I will be telling her this. My psychologist, she knows. She had a hunch that I was dealing with all these complex issues. She knows. Sarge says, gotta roll to work. Love you, girl. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for stepping in and chatting, and have a good day at work, Sarge. And I appreciate all the stuff you do. Everyone go check out Sarge's channel. He's got a mental health channel as well. He's been a licensed therapist for many years, for decades, I believe over 25 years. So, and I think these are the things we need to talk about, because people want to dumb down weight loss. Be like, oh, you just need someone yelling at you to, like, get it done. Oh, it's simple. Just stop eating. Put the fork down. It's not that simple. It's complex. It may be simple on paper, but there's other things going around. There is no way that someone gets to a high level of obesity from just, I guess eating, yes, they get there through eating, but there's no way someone gets there without some kind of mental struggle. And it could be perpetrated by the food they're eating, because we know the food that we're eating, the processed food, puts too much stress on us. It's mainly processed carbs more than anything. It puts a lot of stress in our system, and it affects our mental health. So I just want us to approach it differently. That's why, for some people, not everyone, but that's why weight loss surgeries don't work. That's why Ozempic doesn't work for a lot of people either. It will work while you're taking it, but once you're done, people, like, I've heard not studies, but I've heard people saying once they come off of Ozempic, they literally pile on the weight again. We have to deal with it with the root cause, and it takes a deep journey within. And a lot of it has to do with self-image, how you view yourself. And my self-image has been crap. People may look at me from the outside and be like, why? It's crap. People say, I've heard people say to me, like, why are you so stressed? I don't understand. Trust me, I don't understand either, but I'm trying to. And I kind of have answers here considering what I was diagnosed with. And I want people to understand that it's more than that. And we got to dig deeper to the deeper cause. And this is a systemic thing too. Mental health is just, it's a real epidemic. I think it has a lot to do with society right now. I think it has a lot to do with our food system, with the stresses. We are just not living in an environment that's sustainable for our DNA, for what we were programmed to be. A lot of people are dealing with loneliness. A lot of people are not connecting with one another. And connection is so key. Me, myself, I isolate myself from people. And now more so than ever, with everything that happened to me at work, I don't trust a lot of people. I have like one friend that I forgot to text. I was going to text her this morning. I have one friend that like lives here in Alberta that I trust. There's a few people back home. If I reached out to them, I know I can, trust them. But I isolate myself from people because of everything I went through. And I know that's not healthy. So it's about digging deep as to why this keeps happening. Why does this keep happening? And because of what I'm going through, I'm going to focus. It's time to shift back to a diet that has helped me more than anything, and that is a ketogenic diet. It's helped me more than anything. When I'm on keto, my mood is like this. It's literally like this. It's not up and down. It's like this. And that has a lot to do with my body repairing its metabolic health. Fasting also helps me too. So it's time to really use all the tools I have and to do what I need to do. So another thing when it comes to weight loss and mental health and anyone that struggles with maybe like ADHD and managing things, tracking your food really helps. Like on my weight loss journey, let's list what I was doing to make me successful. Tracking my food. Always tracking my calories. It helps. Not because it's a calories in, calories out game. Not because of that. Yes, calories matter, it does. But it creates the discipline. It creates the awareness. It creates the mindfulness. It's a mindful activity to be aware of what you are eating. And anyone who struggles with being overweight, with trying to lose weight, that's the reason why tracking calories helps, or tracking macros. It doesn't matter. It's the mental side of things. It's creating that habit. So that's one thing that really helped. Another thing that really helped was going low carb, keto. It helped me out so much. I've got way too much complex things going on. The severe mental health, the PTSD, all that stuff, plus the pain. Going on a keto diet can help bring down the inflammation. Going on a keto diet can help correct my mitochondrial health. Going on a keto diet can help level things out when it comes to the blood sugar spikes. So I just hate it when people out there completely dismiss. They call keto fad. They call these diets fads. There's a reason why people are turning to it and why it works for people. It works for people because it tackles multiple things. I can go ahead and try to lose weight doing the old, just counting calories, eating whatever I want. I know for me that does not work. It does not work for me because I end up not being able to stick to a calorie number because I'm going to be eating, because if I eat whatever I want, what am I going to go for? I'm going to go for the highly palatable foods right now. That's highly palatable for me right now, meaning that my taste buds are reversing. But let's say someone who's starting their journey and their taste buds are wrecked. They're going to go for the highly palatable foods. So that's going to be all the good, not the good, but the garbage food, the breads, the pastas, they're going to tend to go for that. And then they do that, or they try to do the healthy way. They have their salads, they have their acai bowls, and they do that. But eventually they stray off path because maybe they have like one food that's not in line with that, and then they lose it. So the reason why I turn to these diets is because it helps to control multiple things. And I think people should look at the research that's going on when it comes to these diets instead of saying that, hey, they don't work. Number one, when it comes to mental health and weight loss, is understanding the mind-body connection. It is so key. basically how mental health impacts weight loss efforts. It does. If you're stressed, it's going to be really hard for you to focus. If you're in a state of fear, when people are in a state of fear, their logical part of their mind is not really operating well. So it's really important to focus on trying to bring the mental health down. In, of course, therapy and stuff helps, but also diet. Diet is so key to that. Watching what you eat, seeing what you eat and how it makes you feel. I'm not saying all carbs are going to make people feel a certain way. I know when I eat sweet potato, I feel great. You know what I mean? But it's about being cognizant of what is going on that aspect. And stress management techniques, also behavioral strategies with food. That's why I say counting your calories helps, because it's a behavioral strategy with food. It's a way to keep track of what you're doing, or counting your macros, or some way of watching what you eat. It really does help. And that's one thing I've been missing recently. I have not been tracking. I just been doing OMAD, I just doing my thing. But I'm like, you know what? My cycle has started. It's time to go back to keto OMAD, and it's time to start tracking things. So I think, and I'm doing the tracking for the mental changes. Mindful eating strategies as well, not eating in front of the TV or in front of your phone, preparing your food in a way that, is kind of like a ritual. Getting into habits too, eating at the same time every day if you're doing OMAD. If you're eating more, if you're not doing OMAD and you're eating 3 times a day, eating at the same time a day makes it redundant, makes it repetitive, and then it becomes automatic. And that makes it easier for you to transform that habit. Another thing I wanted to highlight is, and identifying emotional triggers. Sometimes for some of us, it can be really hard to identify what is triggering you. But the best way to get good at that, the best way to get to know yourself, is to start identifying how you feel during certain moments. It's to just start, really. So let's say, for example, you're anxious and you're having a bad day. Oh, hi, welcome to the live stream. Hi, Transformation and Project. Hi, Daniella Joy, greetings from, why can I not see this? Sorry, my chat disappears. Why can I not have a chat? But welcome, I saw your chat, but I don't know why it disappears. I should have my computer by. Oh, my son did not take his phone. I guess I could use his phone. But anyway, welcome to the live stream. But I've totally forgot what I was talking about. Yes, identifying emotional triggers. It's going to take time. It's going to take practice. It's going to be very uncomfortable. And this is something I'm doing right now. Like right now, I'm feeling it. Where do you feel it in the body? For me, I feel it a lot here. When it's stress with certain people, it goes to my hip for some reason. That's probably related to my chronic pain issues. But when I'm feeling it here, what is triggering me right now to feel this? I know very well what is triggering me right now to feel this. Right now, I don't feel good enough to be on YouTube, which is why I kind of disappeared. I don't feel good enough to be sharing my journey because I faltered and I messed up. These are all the negative voices I'm telling myself, when in fact, this is part of the journey. This is part of it. It's not about perfection. You're going to fall. The key is not to stay down, is to find a way to bring yourself back up. This is part of the journey. I am not some perfect fitness influencer with 6-pack abs. No, I'm an everyday person that has struggled, and that is the majority of people. And that's why I feel like people falter, because they like, don't get me wrong, it's fun to follow people for motivation. Like, I love Jade Cargill. She looks amazing. She has the most beautiful muscle bellies I've ever seen. For those of you who don't know who Jade Cargill is, she is a wrestler. She was in AEW, now she's in WWE. And she's kind of known in the bodybuilding world. She is beautiful, but at the same time, I like to follow other people as well. Other people who are real, other people who struggle with the mental side of things, other people who go up and down. Like, I take value in that, because then it makes me feel like I'm not trying to reach an impossible standard. And I feel like social media has a lot of people reaching an impossible standard. It has a lot of people seeing, that like this person, like the typical Gymshark athlete, or the typical like 22-year-old girl who hasn't had to deal like with any stress in her life. I shouldn't say that. There's people could go through childhood stuff, but like, someone who maybe has not given birth, someone who's maybe, who's been an athlete all their life. Like, it's fine to get motivation from those people, but at the same time, it kind of puts us in a space of lack, because we're constantly looking at an image that we think isn't real. And that's another thing. What a lot of these people project online is not real. They put a lot of things for show. A lot of people lie about their PED use. A lot of people lie about the surgeries they have. Like, I know certain influencers who I've trusted and follow. I can tell you've had a BBL. It's like, come on, I can tell. Your butt didn't look like that before. You know what I mean? With certain people, you can tell there's always this facade. And I want to break that down. I want to be as real as possible because I want people to connect on that level. Some people say, oh, you can't connect with people online. That's not true. Like, that's not true. There's this woman I was following. She recently died of cancer. Well, I learned about her journey after she died. And a lot of people connected with her, connected with how she was a fighter. She didn't want to give up. She advocated for people to not give up no matter what fight you're going through. Cancer is a physical thing. There's people who are going through like mental fights as well. Never give up. People learn that message. People can connect by people sharing stories. So it's a matter of protecting the space you have online. So behavioral strategies for sustainable weight loss, mindful eating is one of them. So mindful eating is basically taking your time to eat, feeling the food. You can feel the texture of it with your mouth. You can feel it with your hand. You can just, chew the food for a longer time as opposed to, just swallowing it down, like the opposite of unmindful eating, like what binge eaters do, like me, just swallowing the food. Hey, welcome to the live stream, Tashira. Nice to see you. I appreciate you being here, Wellness for Frugal Mama. Everyone, go check out her channel. She is a big, big, big community supporter. She's here to support people. She's always putting other people's live streams, other people's content on her channel. Big ups to you. Thank you for being such a great community connector here on YouTube. I appreciate that. I appreciate you and everything you do. Goal setting is a tricky one because the thing is with goal setting is that people make their you're very welcome is people make their goals that are they make their goals a little too impossible. And trust me, I do that with my all or nothing thinking, which kind of comes from the traits that I talked about with the borderline, with the traits that I have that the psychologist diagnosed me as. Is I hate talking about that one because I was talking to a therapist one time. This is a horrible thing to say, but she's like, she would literally not work with any patient that was fully diagnosed with that. Because I asked her and I'm like, and do I have it? She's like, no. She's like, you definitely don't. She's like, the traits, yeah, with little things you struggle with, but you definitely don't have it. And it's like, I don't want to shame people who struggle with that. There are people who are aware who struggle with borderline personality disorder, which is such a bad stick. I don't like it. I think emotional dysregulation is a better one, that are really in tuned and they know how their actions may impact people. And then there are other people that don't, which I'm pretty sure I came across with people like that, just particularly one person with my old job. And that was my former manager. Full on, I'm 100% sure they struggled with this because it was just a different personality in different days. And that's traumatizing to do. And that's one thing I want to tell myself is that I don't want what I'm struggling with to impact other people. And I try my best not to. I'm the kind of person who prefers to isolate myself. And I try not to put my crap onto others. That's like the best thing. Like when I'm out in public, I try not to do, like, I just keep to myself. That's like what I do. And I'm aware of what I do around people as well. And the person that I'm concerned about is my son, of course. He's going to see things. But I'm very self-aware and I tell everything that I'm going through. He's very self-aware of my struggles. He's self-aware of his own struggles. So the key is to make sure that we have that open conversation. And he knows that. He knows I see my therapist. He sees his, like, things are good. Because my son struggles with ADHD. And again, he's in an environment that has been difficult. When parents fight with their kids, I didn't grow up with a mom and a dad. I just had my mom. But I know from people who grew up in households, like I've talked to people and I've asked them, is it better for parents to stay? Would you rather your parents stay together or separate? And 100%, these are grown adults, they're like, I prefer my parents to separate 100%. 100%. I didn't like the fighting or anything, and they turned out well. These are like young kids I would talk to, and they, like, not young kids, they're adults, and they turned out well. And that has me on my own journey, because I'm still on the journey of trying to hold my own right now, trying to get myself in a situation where I can separate, because it's not healthy for anybody. So there's that aspect as well. I got a lot going on in my life, but I am literally trying to pick up the pieces and come back on top. That's what I've always done. And right now I'm breaking down the mental side of things. Is weight loss my priority? I'm going to say yes, in that a sense is I'm prioritizing my mental health, because I know if I prioritize my mental health, the weight will come off. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, when it comes to goal setting, a lot of people, and I do this myself, the all or nothing thinking, that I'm like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in this day, or I'm going to do this and that. No. A goal could be something as simple as tracking my calories for this day. A goal can be something as simple as getting in 20 minutes of exercise. Don't focus on the result. Focus on the process, because the process is never ending. There is no end result on this journey. You're always going to be on the journey. And that's the key. When I lost my weight and I got to my quote unquote goal weight, to my, like, when I was lean, the process didn't end. The process got harder, not physically, but mentally. And it got harder mentally because I was still yearning for more. I wanted more. I wanted more weight off, even though I looked great on 169 pounds in the 170s. I looked great in the 170s. I could have just stayed in the 170s and focused on building muscle. But I was pushing my body to get to 155 for some reason. I wanted to get to 155. I just wanted that number in my head. And that backfired, because my body isn't designed for 155. It's not. Unless I'm doing like a bodybuilding show, I think I would be very lean at 155. I could have been fine at 170. 170, I was size 8. I was size 8, and my stomach was flat, and I looked great, but it wasn't enough. And that's where the mental side of things came in. It was not enough. Why is it not enough? Because I don't feel good enough about myself. So I'm tackling that feeling of not feeling good enough. And where does that feeling comes from? It's life. The human mind is conditioned to default to negative. But it's our job to recognize that and try to turn it around. Try to turn it around. Try to see the good. Like Les Brown says, it literally takes 17 positive thoughts to outweigh one negative thought. It's a lot of work with this mind, but it can be done. It can be done through practice. It's a skill that can be acquired. And that's why I don't want people to feel like hopeless on their weight loss journeys or hopeless on their journey to mental health, because I was feeling hopeless. Like, let's be honest, I looked at this list and I'm like, wow, anxiety, depression, this, that, panic disorder, social anxiety, ADHD, like, and I'm like, I felt hopeless. And I'm like, wait a second. No, this is an opportunity for growth. This is an opportunity to nail this not to nip it in the bud, but it's an opportunity to share your journey with other people, because you're not the only one going through this. It's an opportunity to use this pain and turn it into an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to level up, because that's all we can do. That's our choice. We can fall. I've chose to fall. Last few months I just gave up. I wouldn't say I just gave up. I was trying. I was desperately trying to get out of my situation with work. I was desperately trying to apply for jobs, because I knew that situation I couldn't stay with, dealing with personalities and people. I just couldn't stay, and I needed to leave. And I made the decision to just quit January 1st, ended 2 weeks ago, and that's in the past, because that was really affecting my mental health. Now it's my time to figure out what is my next move. And I know I can't move forward. Well, I am moving forward until I address the mental side of things, because it keeps popping up. So going back to the goal setting, I talked about it. Small goals, don't go extreme. I'm talking to myself right now. And my goal is today, I already did a 20-hour fast, because no, I didn't. I ended at 5:30. It's not a 24-hour fast. I have no idea what time it is right now. But my goal was to just fast and do keto. That's it. Just fast and do keto. And track your calories, because I have not been tracking. I was doing lazy. Track the calories. I don't care. Track it. Don't judge the calories. Just track it. Track it, track it, track it. Sleep and stress is another issue. When it comes to stress, how chronic stress can hinder weight loss. We all know that. And ooh, stress can be a hard one. Because when you're stressed, you're in a state of fear. You're in a state of panic. When you're in a state of fear with stress, you're not thinking properly. You're what do you call it? Your what's that brain? I totally forgot the brain. The higher brain, your limbic system. I'm totally forgetting. But basically, the more aware side of your brain is shut down, and you're in complete flight and fight mode. You're in complete survival mode. And just not on the mental side, but the physical side. When you're in a state of chronic stress, guess what else happens? Your cortisol level elevates. And cortisol, excess cortisol, when it's not used, like when we're sitting at our work desk and something happens at work and you get stressed, but you can't let it out because cortisol gives you a spike in glucose, because cortisol was designed to help you run. It's a survival mechanism for humans. It's the fight and flight response. It's for us to run or fight. That's what cortisol is used for. But in this day and age, we're constantly stressed. We're stressed sitting in traffic. We're stressed at work. And when we don't use those cortisol, it gets stored. It gets stored in the belly fat. Not only that, high cortisol levels, again, causes the entire metabolic mayhem that I'm talking about. Spikes your glucose levels, stress out your mitochondria. And then when you have that glucose spike and then that dip, that's when you get hungry. I even proved that on one of my vlogs when I was wearing a CGM. I wanted to wear a CGM. They're a bit expensive, and right now I am not working, but I will get my hands on a CGM very soon. I'm in the process of figuring out my next move with employment, and that's like another stressful thing, but it's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. I rather be in this situation than being at that job and being in a situation where it wouldn't be good for me. I can't talk about too much because I'm worried about YouTube's policies, but let's just say I was not well. Lots of hopelessness, lots of ideations, lots of struggle. Transformation in Progress says, I'm stuck at 150. I'm 5'3", 61 years old. My goal weight is 135 pounds, healthy. I don't know. Oh, that's how I get the chat back. Okay, I figured it out. I started at 270 in October 23, 120 pounds down. I know what I've done amazingly well, but I want to 135 pound weight. I'll tell you this, be happy with what you have, because not accepting where you are right now is going to put you into a situation where it can backfire on you and you can end up gaining a lot of the weight back. Accept where you are and be happy with where you are. Stay here, enjoy it, build some muscle. Start building muscle. When you start to build muscle, it changes your body composition. Also, muscle is energetically expensive. Muscle is our glucose sink, especially for you being a 61-year-old woman and me being a 35-year-old woman. As I'm aging, I'm losing bone density and strength and all of that with the whole, we all age. Not osteoporosis, but women lose bone density. Building muscle can help improve bone density. Even at 61 years old, I've seen people and there's this new trend now of 60, 70, 80-year-olds being jacked and stuff. And I'm like, that's gonna be me. There's so much benefit to muscle. So I would say focus on building muscle, watch your body composition change. Muscle is our insulin, it's our glucose sink. Literally, it allows us to absorb glucose and to not have it stored as fat. So I would say focus on muscle and don't stress so much about that number. How are you looking in the mirror? How are you feeling? How is your clothing fitting? That's something that you have to look at as well. Can I get the chat back? Oh, I can. Okay. You're 5'3". It's something I'm not saying give up on your journey, but sit down, because clearly there might be a mental block that's preventing you from achieving your goal. And that might have to do with you wanting it so bad. I understand it. I get it. But I think there are things that you need to just look at. Look at how far you've come. You've made such a big transformation. Be proud of yourself. Don't sit there and beat yourself up, because that cycle could be causing stress, and that stress could be, I'm trying to accept, but being freaking big. I've never been this slim before. Exactly. I know it's so hard. Trust me, I know. Like when I was at my leanest, I hated my body. See, it comes down to the self-image. And this is like a journey we all have to like try to work with daily. Like one of my favorite psychologists, Dr. Tara Brach, she's in her 70s. She still struggles with her self-image. I believe she struggled with, am I allowed to say that? The ED, where you don't eat. And to this day, she still works on it. And like, that's like, I brought her up and it just made me feel good, because she is a psychologist that she's the one who taught me mindfulness. My first ever therapist, who was a social worker, taught me, this was years ago, back in 2013, taught me mindfulness. And I did Tara Brach's mindfulness meditation. And I only recently realized that she struggled a lot with her own issues. So who am I to sit here and say I am not good enough to help people transform their lives and to help people lose weight just because I recently gained weight? I lost the weight before. I know what it takes. And me losing this weight again is going to help me understand more and more why people falter, why people fail. And a lot has to do with the mental side, which is why I'm talking about this live stream, talking about mental health and weight loss. And it has a lot to do with all these things here that I was talking about, that I was diagnosed with, that I'm going to overcome, that I'm not going to let it stop it. I'm going to use these as a fuel to help me be better. Trust me, it's going to be hard some days. It's been hard a lot of the days. It's been hard today. Getting out of bed is hard for me every morning. Don't get it twisted. Doing this live stream right now is hard, but I told myself, you cannot throw away all the hard work you've done for your channel because you are feeling like crap, because you have this one side of you. There's a part of me that says that I'm not good enough, but there's this other part of me that says, hell no, you are so good enough. Look how much you've gone through. Look how much you've overcome. Half the people that have been in your situation probably would be on illicit drugs. They would be, trust me. With everything I have and everything I've been through, I should be like one of these people on the street flung out. But I told myself I would never ever touch anything like that in my life, because I know how risky I am. I know my addictive tendencies. I struggle with the food. Yes, we know, which is why I use fasting. People are like, well, don't fast. That's bad for you. Well, is eating a processed junk food diet 7 days a week? Well, not even junk food, but just a processed diet, thinking you're eating healthy by having a bagel and, I don't know, like, when I say bagel, like just a white bagel with some peanut butter is healthy for you. I'm not saying it's not healthy, but for someone like me with metabolic mayhem, that's going to cause issues. For people with glucose sensitivity issues, that's going to cause issues. For people who are struggling with mental health and don't realize why, hey, your mitochondria stress, that's going to start issues. So yeah, I'm just going to look at the chat here. So it's just really understanding what is best for you and tuning up the noise. People are going to have their opinions, just like what I talked about earlier in the live stream of that guy who said to that woman who's like, you have PCOS, we'll just eat less calories and you'll be fine. They're struggling with insulin resistance. And speaking of PCOS, I've been having a lot of issues with my cycle. It's been crazy ever since a while ago, ever since I got off birth control. So who knows if birth control had an issue with that. I've been off it for 2 years. Stress I've been through. The doctor wants to check to see if I have PCOS. And she also wants to check my thyroid, which I'm pretty sure is probably playing into why it's so difficult for me to lose weight without having to do fasting, keto. Because honestly, if I went and just counted my calories and ate 1,800, 2,000 calories, that's what people are gonna tell me to eat all the time. I know how to do those like calculations. I know how to do it. And literally, if I go ahead and just follow it, it would probably tell me to eat 2,200 calories and I can still lose weight. I would not lose weight. I know that for a fact. Hey everyone, hi True, welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for your encouragement. Anytime. I want you to realize how much of a bad A you are, how much you've gone through and how much weight you've lost. And be proud of yourself and work on a different journey. Work on that inner journey within. Work on physically wise, building that muscle. Work on other things. But yeah, I totally forgot what I was talking about. I lost it. My brain tends to do this a lot. Wellness of your mama says hi, True. Sorry, it happens with the I just never understood why my brain would just drop. I'd be thinking something and it would drop. I don't know if it's a relation to the ADHD. I don't know if it's a relation to the trauma I had when I hit my head. I don't know what it is, but it would happen a lot. So bear with me. Okay, dietary approaches with mental health benefits. Ketogenic diet. There are so many benefits to a ketogenic diet when it comes to mental health. There truly is. And like I said earlier, when I'm on a keto diet, I feel so good. I feel like I'm on top of the world. Yes, it's hard. I do miss my crappy bread and stuff, but is it worth it? I just said bread. I don't know. What do I miss? What do I eat? I just eat anything, really. Junk food. Not so much sugar. That happens like before my cycle. But like when I'm really struggling, I'm in the thick of it and I'm struggling with binging, I will eat anything and everything to just get over the pain. I'm running away from something. That's why the mental side comes to this. But the ketogenic diet literally levels out my mood. It levels out my physiology. It makes it easier for me to lose weight. I throw in the fasting in there and I feel even better. Like right now I'm in a good fast. Again, I don't know what time it is. Hang on. I'm wearing really short shorts. I just don't want to. I'm going to get my son's phone because he didn't bring it to school, which he should have. It's 11:17. So, yeah. 11:17, I started my fast at 5:30. So I'm about 18 hours into it and I'm feeling better. Thing is with fasting, when you first start and you're not fast adapted, it's in the beginning, it's tough because you get those spurts of hunger. And when you get those spurts of hunger, that's where the insecurity and the anxiety comes in, especially with me. Because there is a thing that my therapist and I are working through right now. There is a thing with food insecurity with me. I think as a kid, my mom came here from the Caribbean. She came here from Grenada back in 1989. I guess that's when I was born. And I will read that in a second. And she struggled a lot. She was a single mom. She was on her own. She left her son back home. She was trying to start a new life. She wanted to come to America, which I wish it happened. For the love of God, I wish I was born in New York. It was going to be New York City, but it didn't. I ended up being born in this bloody country that I'm not very happy with right now and don't like Canada. I was talking to someone today. I'm like, every single one of my family members who have immigrated from the Caribbean to America are doing well financially. They're doing well. They own a home. They have a car. They're doing well. I got family in Texas. I got family in New York and Georgia, I believe. Yes. Texas, New York, and Georgia. They're doing well. They're just better off. Canada is just bleh. Anyway, going back to that, what was I talking about? The fasting. I feel better when I fast. I just feel mentally better. But we're going to go back to what I was talking about in the paper here. I probably need this paper a lot if I'm going to do a live stream. Any paper just to keep my brain in check because it just goes all over the place. But exploring the ketogenic diet's role to improving mental health. I know I feel good when I'm on keto, so I don't care what anyone says. This is not a fad diet to me. This is something that literally helps me get my baseline down. Now, again, I do believe in metabolic flexibility, but the key in my problem is going towards foods that trigger me in multiple ways. I think foods that end up triggering my binging is also triggering the mental health as well. So it's having the strength. Oh, I was talking about food insecurity. That's what I was talking about. Is having the strength to not do that. So going back to the whole food insecurity that my therapist and I were going through, my mom struggled a lot. So there's probably food insecurity as me as a young child where I probably didn't get enough food. So maybe that's why I turned to binging as well. Also, when food started tasting good, and when I say started tasting good, when they started adding the crap, the trans fats, all the toxicity that happened around 1999, 2000. They were adding all of that to our foods. I was 10 years old. My mom was just stressed. And again, I don't blame my mom. Like, for the longest time, I talked about having a really bad relationship with my mom. My mom just, it wasn't good. She said some things to me. She's done some things. It's just been a very stressful relationship. But now that I'm doing this deep inner work, I'm realizing that my mom has trauma herself. She does. And I forgive her because my mom does show me love. She checks on me every day. She messages me. I would ignore her like I did in the past. That has changed recently because the things my mom went through, and I'm compassionate for her for that. I have compassion towards her. Now, the key is that what me and my therapist are working on is having compassion to myself. And that's the hardest thing. And that is where this whole thing happens with gaining weight, mental health, weight loss, is that I don't have compassion for myself. And I'm working on that. I'm very, very difficult on myself, like a lot of you are. I know a lot of people are. I'm very, like, that's why I was not posting on YouTube. I was gonna sit down and make a video, but I thought, let me do a live stream. And I honestly, I'm very disappointed in myself for everything that happened. But to be honest, life happened. It's okay. You are not a bad person because you gained weight. You're not a bad person because you let the stress of a situation of being in chronic pain and trusting a trainer that made you jump on one leg. Like, why did I do that? Okay, be compassionate with yourself. That you trusted people because you wanted to win as a team, that's not your fault. You are inherently a good person. And of course, being in that much chronic pain, no one can handle it. And that's another thing that was taught to. That's another thing I want to talk about. I want to learn more the fact, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with chronic pain issues, whether it be fibromyalgia, whether it be arthritis, rheumatoid, what have you. I know there's a lot of people dealing with chronic pain, and that can make things a little tricky because when you're in pain, again, it shuts down a lot of the parts of your mind that is basically, I guess, the higher points of your mind, and it puts you in a state of panic and fear. So throughout this journey, I'm really going deep. I'm digging, why do I go to binging? And it comes in from childhood. What are my protectors protecting me from? Something at 3 years old. Again, and I've got other traumas in my life too. We're not there yet. We're working on like one trauma at a time, but we're starting with the earliest memories I've dealt with. And then there's a couple bigger traumas I have to work with. And that's why I was diagnosed with PTSD. Basically, I can't remember the age. I block it off, but it happened for a good, maybe like 4 years or so. That's a trauma I need to work on. And then something that happened in adulthood. And then, of course, all of that responds to how I respond to the entire thing with the accident, my choices in relationships, and all that. That's why once I get myself on my feet and I'm living on my own, my goal is to get to America. Like, honestly, I want to move to America. I want to move there for my son because he wants to play football. And I say if I was born in America, I would probably be some kind of athlete because I was very gifted, a runner of some sort. My son wants to play football, and he's going to have no chance being in Canada playing football. There's not going to happen. We got to move to the States. America has a better system for athletes. Anyway, if you're in the chat right now, if you're watching this live stream, I would just kindly ask you to smash that like button. It will just do tremendous for me. Just hit a like, as it will help things out, help me, help get the word out. Because my goal in life is like truly want to learn how to help people. I want to help people, and I have been helping people by documenting my journey. But I have to learn how to help myself. And I know how to help myself. It's just like get in the way. So why does this keep happening? Well, we're digging deep and we're learning to reprocess the trauma that I went through. We're learning to reprocess things. So, next thing I want to talk about, again, keto, exactly what I'm doing. So, I guess that's all. But I rambled a lot. I just want to let you guys know if you're in a situation where you feel completely stressed, completely hopeless, and maybe financially, again, my financial situation is a hot mess right now. I'm 1 month behind in my bills. I'm laughing because I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. It's either I laugh or I cry, so I'm laughing. The financial stress doesn't stress me out that much. Like, it sucks, but it can be fixed. I know it can be fixed. I'm confident in myself to fix it. If I'm confident in that, but I'm not confident in the mental health journey, but we're getting there. Each step we're getting there. But if you're going through this, promise yourself this. Don't give up. That's all I can say is find a way. Keep learning. Keep figuring yourself out. Keep learning about yourself. Keep understanding why you do things. Keep sitting with yourself. It's about building that relationship with you. That's the most important relationship we'll have in this life, is the relationship we have with ourselves. And oh, my relationship with myself is so bad. And I'm learning my best I'm learning. I'm getting help. I like, trust me, I was the one person that never wanted to do therapy. I never, on my own, as a child, I dealt with my stuff on my own. That's how I did, that's what I dealt with things. So I remember listening to this woman on Instagram. She talked about people who end up isolating themselves from other people is because they learned how to deal with stuff on their own. And that's me. I dealt with stuff on my own. And I'm trying to learn to branch out and trust people, but to not be naive, to be very careful with who I associate myself with. Because I do have that problem where I trust people who are very manipulative, very toxic, narcissists, borderlines, what have you. Just, I got to stay away from certain, like, I got to have discernment of who I leave that trust in. And I got to learn how to trust myself as well. The trust with myself is not there, but it's building. And I'm trying to look back at proof of why I should trust myself. Again, I went through the entire journey with the car accident, being in so much pain, trying to figure things out. And now I'm at a point, I can say this is one win. I am not in debilitating pain in my knee. I healed my knee, like, because of the muscle I put on. The hip is better because of I trusted myself in getting that steroid shot. I didn't want to, but I know how my mom and I respond to steroid shots. We can have a shot and we're good for years. That's it. So I knew I had to get into my hip. One shot, I'll be good. I will not be getting another one. One thing I got to figure out is my SI joint issues and probably get a shot in there. Having the courage again to exercise, because right now I don't have a gym membership and I don't want to go back to the gym I worked at. The gym that I work at has a lot of gyms everywhere. It's a big chain. However, I did find Gold's Gym. There's a Gold's Gym beside my house and they have a women's section. And the reason why I need a women's section is because I sometimes just want to be alone. And it's comfortable for us to, like, when I say alone, just not in the broader gym. So I'm excited. I'm going to read your comment in a second. So I'm excited to restart my fitness journey again, but I have some mental roadblocks I'm going through. I'm going to start working out at home. Again, I am a certified personal trainer. I know what to do. I'm going to start working out at home. That's going to be one mental block. But I gave up on working out because I thought I wasn't seeing progress. Because in terms of my injuries, not in terms of my body. My body was changing. My injuries, I was still in pain. The doctor said kept building muscle, but I have seen progress. My knee's better. I don't have to wear knee brace. I don't have to wear K-tape on my shoulder. If you guys remember, I was always doing live stream with K-tape. I was always taped up, so it was working. And I guess I'm having a traumatic reaction to everything I went through with working at a gym. As a trainer, I'm never doing that again. I will be working. I think I'm going to transform this to working online, but I want to create programs. I think that's the best way to go and have a few clients on the side, which I do now. I have a few people in real life, and online I did get a question as if I'm taking clients right now. That is going to have to be dependent on the person. I want to take someone who's serious about losing weight, who has everything, who's focused, and who's ready to make a change, who's been trying and has been stuck right now, and someone who will, like, one of the reasons why a lot of people don't coach people, it may not just be weight loss or anything. I remember listening to this guy. He was going to coach people on how to grow their YouTube channel. He's like, I don't want to coach people because people don't listen to me when I tell them what to do. And that's the problem I'm finding. They don't listen. People don't listen. You have to find someone I want to root out and find people who are coachable. So that's another thing. How do I know? I don't know. But we'll see. I've I've been finding a few people in real life. But anyway, I got to go back to the chat. Where did it go? I can't get to the chat. I don't get this live stream. Okay, here it is. Nope, I don't want to remove. Here we go. HRT is crucial for women. It has so many health benefits: muscle, bone, and brain. Most menopause is liberating, not menstruating. I heard about HRT for women who are in menopause. I have not done research on it, but I do know about it. And I know people, doctors have been using it on people. Transformation Progress says, I've been through nightmares, keeping in my mind how my family needs me and my health and same saw me through the worst. Your son needs you. Thank you. I know. Thank you for saying that, because yesterday, I was so depressed. I'm depressed every day, but yesterday I did not want to get out of bed. I did not want to get out of bed. Like, I will get up, I will shower, I will brush my teeth, and then it will take me a while. I'll probably just sit in bed and not leave. But once I'm out of bed, I go right to the water, because there's something about water just like calms you down. I should probably start taking more baths again. Baths really helped me. Something about water that soothes me. But I didn't. I was like giving up. I was just like, I don't, like, what's the point? And then I was sitting in the living room. I was really like, I was just like, literally, I was just frozen. I was trying to put on my sock. I had one sock on and I couldn't do the other one because I don't know, I just froze. Right now I'm going through, usually I'm a fighter. There's usually like fight and flight. I usually fight. I'm like, you can't do this to me. I'll defend myself, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm in like freeze. I'm in freeze mode. So I'm just freezing. So that's my body's response with all the stress my nervous system went through. So I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm just like frozen. I'm like, I can't move. Like, I just couldn't move. And then my son comes out of the room and he's like, hi, mommy. And he's like, good morning. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Because I don't want him, I'm like, I'm just like, I'm fine. Like, I didn't want him to worry. And then him gave me so much, like just him being there. And I'm like, oh yeah, my son gives me so much motivation to move forward. And I know I got to do this for him. If I'm not going to do this for myself, and I shouldn't say that, I am going to do this for myself. I can't neglect myself. He is another reason why I'm doing this as well. He is such a special boy. So intelligent, so smart, so wise, and so deserving that he needs a mommy that sees the same thing in herself as she sees in him. So as he sees in him, or she sees in, I said that wrong. But yeah, my son, I have to think, like, that's literally the only thing keeping me going. And my mom's support. Because I know, like, there's nothing, like, I'm grateful to have my mom. She's, how old is she now? Oh my gosh, she was born in 62. 2022, that's 60, 70. Oh my God, my mom's turning 63 pretty soon. I haven't seen her in years. In a year, I'm considering, I don't know, if I can get myself together and put myself in a good financial situation, I'm considering taking my son, my mom, and my sister, and us just going to Grenada in the Caribbean just for like the whole summer, just getting some sunlight and just being there with family. That's another thing. I'm so out of touch with family. I have aunties in the Caribbean. My aunt in the Caribbean, she lives in this big house and she's been asking me to come there because they know everything I've been through. I've got my uncle in New York who called me and checked in on me when the car accident happened. Like, I have family. That's the thing. Growing up, it was just me and my mom and my sister. And then my brother came later. My brother he's my older brother. He was living in Grenada. He came later. But for me, I always wanted a big family because it was just me, my mom, and my sister. But I do have a big family. They're just not here. They're not in Canada. They're all over the place. So one thing I want to do is just get in touch with my roots. Because if I get in touch with my family, be around people who share the same genetic DNA as me, maybe I won't feel so left out, feel so lost. Because I do feel lost. I feel lost. Felt lost a lot growing up here in Canada. Felt very lost. So I think I need that. I need that connection with my family. And that's something I definitely want to do because my family is massive. It's like my immediate family is not, but my mom's family is massive. There's my dad's side too. Like, yeah, there's just things. I need to go on a deep path and I will get there. I'm confident in myself because I'm built belief. Like, me coming on here and doing this live stream right now, like, that's huge for me. I said that in the last live stream, but that's huge. It's huge for me to be on here and showing myself on camera and sharing what I'm going through and sharing the process of me trying to, I guess, I don't want to say, I guess it's a journey of healing, but it's a journey of transformation in how I view myself. I am fine the way I am. It's hard to say that, but eventually when you say it, it'll become true. I need to accept the way I am, because all of the crap I went through, all of the scars I have made me who I am today. And I know there is a part of me that is so strong and so determined. It's there. It's coming out, that can change not only my life, but can touch the life of others. Like, I have big dreams for myself. But the number one thing I got to work through, and then that we all have to work through, is the barriers that we have within. The barriers that prevent us from acting, the barriers that prevent us from seeing our true potential. And for someone like me, that's a lot to do with trauma. A lot to do with trauma. But there are people who've been through very traumatic situations and they came out the other end and they're flourishing. They may still struggle. Oh, sorry, the camera went dark. Anyway, whoa, I've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. Well, thank you for everyone for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you hit that like button, and I am going to make a vlog today, okay? I'm going to do an OMAD vlog. Keto OMAD vlog. We're going to do a keto OMAD vlog. We're going to do it. We're going to get back on track. We're going to share this journey. And thank you so much for being here, Fugo Mama. And we're going to pick ourselves up. By the grace of God, I got this. We got this. And sending you guys so much love. Take care.